Okay, has anyone joined me here? Oh, it's Michael. Okay. Hi, Saurav. Namaste. How are you doing? Good evening to you. Can you hear me? Awesome. Do you have any questions for me? I don't see anyone. I think this is a live YouTube stream and not um, live on Facebook. So I don't know if folks are confused, and maybe I should have just kept it on Facebook. I think, but let's see. Hopefully, it will work. I've just posted the link to this one. Yeah, I'm doing great as well. Thank you for asking. And a very good morning, good evening, or good afternoon to you, wherever you are. Yeah, you have any questions for me, sort of? Okay. I see one more person has joined us. Hello to whoever has joined us. Thank you for joining. Yeah, it's easy to go live on Facebook, but I want to start using the YouTube channel more. And I'd planned to create the videos in Hindi about Kepler and any space related topics of interest. The thing is, I underestimated the amount of work involved in recording those videos and then editing them. I have a full schedule, and it's really challenging to edit the videos, add pictures, images, and subtitles to those. So that is the reason why I haven't been able to pursue that. But I thought, let me start with go live, and then we can see the amount of interest in those kind of informational videos. So, yeah, been doing some interviews. Just last weekend, I did a couple of interviews, and then I've been doing the talks as well. So I thought I do this for so many people. I never get to do it for my followers on my page, public page. And so, this opportunity to talk to you, to give you all an opportunity to ask me questions and answer your questions as possible. But looks like, um, yeah, not sure if this is the YouTube link that folks are not able to get to, or maybe should I go live on Facebook? Hmm. And give everyone a few more minutes, maybe till 10:30. Otherwise, I'll just switch to Facebook Live and see um, people join there. If people join there, let's see. But yeah, thank you for joining, and yeah, feel free to post any questions if you have questions for me. How about then I talk about Kepler? I had done a couple of videos. Let me see. Okay, who's joined us? Can you tell me your name and if you have any questions for me? But yeah, I think I talked about the Kepler mission a little bit, how Kepler is a space based telescope we launched in 2009. It's a school bus sized telescope. We launched Kepler to answer the question if there is intelligent life form like us out there. So take the first step to answer that question basically. So Kepler's mission objective was to find Earth-like planets in the habitable zones of sun-like stars in our galaxy. And because we know that the Earth Sun system has life on it, that is the reason why we decided to use this as an example when we look for other Earth like planets or habitable planets. If we find habitable planets, that means those planets have a possibility of having life on those. And in that process, Kepler found quite a bit of planets for us, Earth like planets. The only difference is they are orbiting, most of them are orbiting M dwarf type of stars. Now, our sun is a G dwarf type of star, and these planets are orbiting M dwarfs, which are smaller, cooler, and dimmer than our sun. So the way they interact with their those M dwarf stars interact with their planets is a little different than how our sun interacts with our Earth. The planets have to be closer into those stars, the M dwarfs, because they are smaller, cooler, and dimmer, right? So to get the amount of heat from their star, to keep the water, if there is water on those planets, in liquid form, the planets have to be in the habitable zone. So the M dwarfs, because they are smaller and cooler, their habitable zones are comparatively closer to the star than our sun. And that is the reason why these planets are really close to their stars. They're in the habitable zone, but they're very close, so they might be tidally locked, just like our moon is tidally locked to our Earth. um, Tidally locked means the gravitational pull of the planet, in this case our Earth, does not allow the moon to rotate around itself. And so you always see the same face of the moon when we are looking at it from Earth, because it's tidally locked to Earth. It can't spin around itself. So same thing might happen in the case of the planets that are orbiting the M dwarfs. They might be tidally locked to their stars. because they're so close to their star, because of the gravitational pull of the star, they might be tidally locked. Good morning, Yogesh. Good evening to you. So good to see you. Thank you for joining. Yeah, if you have any questions, do type them in. Meanwhile, I am just talking about Kepler and sharing some information. So yeah, Kepler has helped us find a lot of Earth-like planets around M dwarfs. And now the next step we are taking is the James Webb Space Telescope is so powerful. It is going to study the atmospheres of those planets that Kepler, and then there is a similar mission. Kepler is now retired. There is the similar mission as similar telescope as Kepler that we launched in 2018, TESS telescope, Transiting Exoplanet Survey Satellite, which was launched to look at all the sky around our planet and see if there are Earth like planets around Sun like stars in their habitable zone in our galaxy. Kepler was focused, it was the first telescope of its kind. So it focused only on a certain section in the sky, in the Cygnus and Lyra constellation. And it studied stars only in that section. But TESS, it's studying stars all around us. And so we hope to find more and more planets like the Earth. And then the next step will be JWST, or James Webb Space Telescope. We'll look at the atmospheres of those planets to see if there are traces of gases that indicate the existence of life, like methane, orange, hydrogen, oxygen, right? And that's the next step. We cannot travel to those planets. The closest planet to us is 4 light years away in the Proxima Centauri star system, Alpha Centauri star system. Um, so we do not have the technology to travel to those, even to the closest stars and planets to us. But at least we can start and lay the foundation for our future generations by studying those stars and planets using our telescopes and finding out if there are signs of life on those, so that in the future we might be able to travel to those. Yogesh, that's a good question. Is thrusters used in space? What's the mechanism they use? There are a lot of different types of thrusters, right? When you're launching, you use solid rocket boosters like the space shuttle, and then there is a mixture of liquid fuel and solid propellants that provide us the propulsion and the thrust that is needed to ex- um, escape the Earth's gravity. But in space, for example, all spacecrafts have different types of thrusters. In space, on the space station, we use the Progress spacecraft to boost the station's orbit of every month, a couple of times a month, at least once a month, to boost the orbit. So the thrusters are fired on the Progress spacecraft, and it boosts the space station so that it stays in its orbit. Then there are also CMGs, or control motion gyroscopes, that we use for attitude control. So those are the some of the types of thrusters, and then there are the types of propulsion also matters. So we have had nuclear propulsion on the Voyager spacecrafts, for example. There is ion or plasma propulsion. So yeah, different spacecrafts depending on the mission and the design of the spacecraft and the duration we have. That's what determines what kind of thrusters we're going to use on a particular spacecraft. So, good question. Anything else? I don't know if what the issue is. I know a lot of people were interested in joining this, but I think I'm wondering if they're expecting this go live would directly be on Facebook, whereas I shared a YouTube link. So let's see. Meanwhile, if you have any question, please feel free to post it in there. Yeah. Otherwise, I am going to continue. I talked about Kepler. What else? Do you have any other questions for me? Otherwise, we can stop here and maybe I'll switch to a Facebook Go Live and see if people have any questions there. So, yeah, let's do that, right? I've waited here for almost half an hour now. So I'm going to switch to a Facebook Live. Hope you can join me there, Saurav and Yogesh. Thank you for joining here. Appreciate it. You all have a great evening. Good night. Bye. And I'll see you live on Facebook.